leave that, then, you may as well turn this off now. We're not talking about, your food, your shelter yet. You got some clothes on, you managed to get some things happening. The first thing you need to look after is your feet. You gotta take care of your feet. By God, look after your feet. This is not taught anywhere. Anyone who's ever lived will tell you that you need to look after your feet. Kids know they have to look after their feet. That's why kids always wear combat boots. They know instinctively that, yeah, I need to look after my feet. It's an instinct because this is your only contact with the world. Without your feet, you cannot move. It may seem like I'm being a little obsessive about feet here, but if you think about it, you're really not. We pay no attention to our footwear in society. Now, I just went for a walk with Sim there, and these are the shoes that he has. And I'm going to do my best to cover up logos and things like that. But these shoes here are what young people are wearing. This is like a skateboarder shoe, a little bit of rubber here. That's nice. Now, this is your standard urban shoe. And this is great if you live in an urban environment, but you're totally limited to where you live. I mean, you can't go for long walks in the grass. We just came back, his foot's all soaked and there's mud all over it. It really didn't, the shoe's not going to stand up. It's not designed for it. Those shoes are great for sane people, people who want to, just stay in the city and go to their job and, 9 to 5. You can tell a lot about a man by his footwear. I judge people by their footwear. Almost everyone judges everyone else by their footwear too. If you go into a store, even in sales stores now, they look at your footwear and they judge you as a person by what you wear on your feet. Even the rabid vegan crowd, you're wearing leather on your feet, blah, blah, blah. They always get up in your face about that. What you gotta do, figure out what is the best boot for me. Now, for WOGs decide everything from a piece of kit from the criteria as follows. What does it do? How well does it do it? That's it. If there's two items you wish to compare, you say, what does it do? What are its capabilities? And then after it does that, how well does it do those capabilities versus other products that do the same thing?
What does it do? How well does it do it?
That criteria can be said from every kind of raw material, fabric, tunic, jacket, boots, footwear, what have you. What does this shoe do? It looks like it covers your foot and provides some padding. That's about it. What does this shoe do? Well, this shoe here is totally waterproof. His Gore-Tex has ankle support, which the other shoe does not. It takes a little longer to put on and take off by the amount of lacings, but the support that here is great. It's also, I think, lighter than the other shoe or of comparable weight. For a lighter shoe, you get a far more durable shoe that is waterproof, has Gore-Tex. So it seems that combat boots are a better choice than runners for WOGs. Now in doing this, you're going to need to make sure you make the right choices for the kind of combat boot you go with, using that criteria. What does it do? How well does it do this? If you use that as your criteria for anything that you buy, you will conquer advertising. Advertising has to establish need before you buy things. If you get around that need, you need this because you need to be cool. Fuck you. I don't need to be cool. I need to cover my feet. What does it do? How well does it do this? You could say that to any salesman. You should buy my super wax. Well, if your super wax is better than any other wax for an affordable price, I'll buy it. But if not, fuck off. Welcome to the land of quality. Okay, so first layer you need to have is everything that you wear should be loose and in layers. But with socks, it's hard because you have to have some support there. What they used to do is they used to take a cotton sock, they put a cotton sock over your foot as an inner, and then they take a wool sock and put a wool sock over top as an outer. Now, I didn't want to go with a pair of socks like that because like the underwear, I just want to buy, this touches your skin, it touches the most sensitive area of your body. So you need to make sure that you have very good socks as well as shoes. And technology has gone forwards that we can do that now. We can get like high-speed gear. So I went to Mountain Equipment Co-op and I found these socks. Now, I bought these socks called Ingenious. I don't know anything about them. Found them at the store. Compared them to a bunch of other socks. I approached the sock and said, what does this sock do? I found the sock with the most capabilities made, and how well does it do it? That did it the best way I could see how from the criteria that I preset, and I've chosen these socks. These are $15 socks made by Ingenious Dryline Comfort. These socks won a Nobel Prize. That's pretty high fucking praise. When a pair of socks wins a Nobel Prize, I think they're good socks. Ingenious is the only sock available with Dryline Comfort, blah, 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 blah. Basically, it does the same thing that the wool and the other ones do. So if you can't afford $15 socks, go buy wool socks and cotton socks. Sport socks are perfect. Okay, we'll see how well these socks perform. Oh, and you've got the nice brand there on the side of your sock, all padded. Now, the way these socks work is they've actually built an absorbent layer on the inside of the sock that is like the cool wick for the same thing that your underwear does. And then it has an insulating layer on the outside, so it draws moisture away from your feet. Above everything else, keep foot powder with you in case you need it, but you must keep your feet cool and dry. I don't give a fuck who you are or where you live. If you do not keep your feet cool and dry, your feet will rot off. This is important. This is why I'm covering it first. If you forget everything else, for fuck's sakes, keep your feet cool and dry, okay? Make sure you get socks of the right size. Good quality socks actually say their size, like a shoe size, okay? So you get your socks, bang! The sock is form-fitting, sticks to your foot well. Fucking wear the sock properly, for Christ's sake. The thing's been designed by engineers and stuff to work. If you don't use the equipment properly, you're an idiot. Now, after this point, for foot care, if you're in your house, you know, it's probably good to wear slippers because you got to protect your socks, and your socks are covered anyway, especially if you're sharing an abode or what have you. I live with my wife, and people are always here, so it's not a totally private abode, okay? So it's best to have slippers so you don't damage the socks because they're $15 a piece. Now, it should also be noted that although I'm showing you one pair of these, I'm not saying you should have one pair of these. I'm saying you should have 10 pairs of these. The same with the underwear. Between 7 to 10 pairs of socks and underwear should be in your wardrobe at any moment in time. Sean, Jesus Christ, that's like 10 pairs. That's like $300 worth of underwear. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's right. Because you wear your underwear and your socks year-round. They're right next to your genitals and where all the nerves terminate in your body. So chances are, if you're going to have good gear, you may as well keep it so that you're comfortable. Hello? Any of this making fucking sense? It's common sense. Going towards footwear, we've decided that running shoes, this shoe here is fucking pointless. I have no idea what the fuck, I guess it must be one of those cool shoes. Being as, you know, function is form, what we're going to do is we're going to move to the minimum size shoe available. Now this, for me, is not a high top shoe. This is a 3/4 cut. And the reason I went with this shoe is this is a Gore-Tex shoe. This particular one, it's, I guess they call these a hiker shoe, like a hiking shoe is what they call it, because it has support for walking. Hiking is nothing more than walking, okay? This has some ankle support and good foot support throughout the shoe. It's Gore-Tex. It's waterproof. For these kind of boots, I will give you 3 brand names. Look at the criteria of what these 3 brand names use and then measure other brands against these 3. If these 3 begin charging too much for what they offer, then I would switch to a different brand. It's just that these particular brands have a very good standard of footwear, which I have based a lot of my knowledge from. The 3 brands are Matterhorn, Danner, High-Tech, and they make a series called Magnums. Now, High-Tech is a bit of a slave wage. I don't know if I know their stuff's made in Vietnam. I don't know how their workers work. But they do make good shoes, as opposed to the Nike crap, which I wouldn't buy anyway, and they have concentration labor camps. They do make good shoes, and unfortunately, I have to give priority to the WOGs. Okay, a lot of people go, well, Sean, you recommend you should... No, the WOGs come first. These are the people who are going to be out there on the front lines. They're going to be the soldiers, so they got to be able to look after their feet. And I will give you the cheapest, best product to go with for that purpose, all right? Once you've decided that, a lot of people say, well, why don't you go with the full length, Sean? Why don't you do like the full, like the jump boot rather than the runners? Well, the problem is with the jump boot is if I could wear the jump boot all the time, I wouldn't actually wear these. These are actually kind of a dress boot. It's got some ankle support. It looks good when you're in the city. You know, you can glass shine them all up. It's a dress boot is what it is. This is, if you want to be punk and you want to still be a wog and be down